What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN, USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the third day of November. Here we are with 10 hours and 11 minutes left in the day at the lowest prices that we've seen. Lowest prices that we've seen since January 16th this year. Crazy stuff. We've actually gone below these levels here, and I can't help but think that this really is it, right? We're breaking out right now to the downside, but there's no volume coming in. I really do think this is it, you guys, where we find support, we turn things around at a voluptuous pace, at a very nice effect of recovery. If we don't get it in the next couple of weeks here, we could really be in some trouble. The longer that we hang out in this area, the worse it looks. So what we need, it's not a matter of desire, it's a matter of necessity. What we need to do is show some life. We need to show some life, and it can't be like this. It can't be like this. It cannot do that. We cannot pump and then dump down. It needs to be vibrant, and it needs to be sustained. It needs to be something that takes us away from this range. Definitely, right? If we're looking at this on a daily time frame here, looking at the MACD does have some bullish divergence being made right here. We do on the stochastics, we are at the oversold zone, and on the RSI, we are at the lowest levels on the RSI that we've seen dating back to August of 2024. August 2024 at these low levels, that was the low of our overall consolidation phase. So the last time that we were this low in the RSI, we were at the low of an overall move. This low, by the way, was lower than this low, right? And I'm sure a lot of people assumed, and here we had a double bottom, that's nice. A lot of people probably assumed, okay, that's it, that's the death of it. But no, that was the actual low. It's moments like this that cause what's called capitulation. And capitulation is where the weak hands basically shake themselves out, the strong hands come in and buy. In other words, all the sellers leave, the buyers step in, and whenever there's no sellers left, typically the price has an easier time moving higher. I've had my theories over the months that there are no sellers left, but we just keep on moving down, guys. Lower levels of volume with each step of the way down. There's definitely a diminishment of the effect that sellers have, but we still are pushing down, and I attribute that probably to OnyxCoin itself, but also to the crypto markets as a whole. Again, I would be a lot more worried about the price right now if it wasn't for the fact that the whole market shook out on the 10th of October, and we've been having a hard time since then, right? I would be a little bit more, let's say, cautious here. Let's look at the others chart. I just want to look at this here real quick. Others on the daily. So the average altcoin, as far as the others chart is concerned, is also pressing prices that are a little bit lower than the 10th of October. Doesn't mean that we do go lower. We can, and if we do, it's fine. But if the whole market sees that, OnyxCoin likely pushes a little bit lower as well. I mean, maybe not, but again, we are here right at the base of where we dropped on the 10th. Most coins are at that exact same kind of area, right? I mean, technically with this wick, you're very high up, but this, I would say this is the base. That's probably the base of the 10th. So we're right on par with the rest of the market, more or less, right? From the aftermath of the 10th there. If we look at the short-term stuff, there are some things to get excited about. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame here. We'll zoom in and we'll zoom out. First and foremost, that was a lot of volume on what is a pretty big wick to the downside. There's a lot of volume on what should have been a breakout move, right? This is a breakout move. So why do we have so much volume on a wick, right? That's hopeful. That's definitely a good sign right there, but it's the 1 hour time frame. We need more than just 1 hour hope. We do have gaps to the upside. We have another gap up here. There are, let's see, there's a gap right there, technically, right there where the hour closed, and then the next one opened down here. We filled it a little bit, but there's still a little gap right there. There are plenty of gaps to the upside. The highest gap is at 1.5 cent price, and it's because of that I really, well, it's not just because of that, but it's because that is one of the many reasons that I do believe OnyxCoin will go higher, and it's probably going to hold support at this level, right? I wish I had some spare change on the side to buy some right now, because this is actually a really good price to buy, you guys. Looking at the MACD, we do have higher lows in the MACD with lower lows in the price. That is bullish divergence. The stochastics are beat up, and the RSI is also very sad. So neither of these indicators are really showing us that we're ready to turn around yet, but that's okay. The MACD is suggesting it, but again, the MACD is a little bit less reliable on the 1 hour time frame. However, this one is giving us some bullish divergence, so that's something to look forward to, as well as this reversal that we had on this hour here. So we'll see if this continues. Again, this area needs to uphold the support, and we really need a nice push out of here. We don't need to do anything crazy. We don't need to push up to 2 cents, but something that does take us away from this zone with a quickness. Okay, that's what we need. We can go lower. We still can go lower, but let's move on. Looking at the 4-hour time frame here. Yesterday, I made a post on x.com saying, how the hell am I going to sleep tonight? I didn't say hell though, because we had some very massive bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame. And this is actually something I was excited to talk about in this video, but I didn't realize that we had been building bearish momentum since that point. It's very odd. It's very odd, I'm not going to lie, that we even had a green. Can you see the green? It's a little green there. You had bullish momentum building up. You even flipped green for a second here, and then you sold off. That's very odd. It's very, very odd. Typically, this is not what happens. Typically, you do move up. And in fact, like to such a degree, this is like a less than 10% likelihood of occurrence. But again, I would chalk that up probably to the rest of the market. It doesn't matter how bullish your indicators are. If Bitcoin's moving down 2.5% in a day, you're going to be moving down as well, right? That's just typically what it is. So unfortunately, this very bullish setup that we had didn't help us at all, to no avail. And the stochastics are bearish, and the RSI is bearish as well. It's very, very beat up. Very, very beat up indeed. So we need to show some life here, guys. It's a requirement. I'm actually disappointed. I thought that whenever I was going to pull this up, I thought that we'd be looking at something different. But the fact that you're building bearish momentum, I want to say right here, it absolutely does negate the positive effects that we were looking forward to. So that's sad, because this is actually a really nice setup. This could have been really, really good, but the fact that we gave it up, that's definitely not a good sign. So we need to show some life here, you guys. Daily time frame right here. And I hope I'm not scaring anybody. I mean, I know it's scary whenever we say it's not good. These things aren't good, but it really isn't good. You look at the price action here. I would expect that we do find support. I can't imagine that we're going to leave a gap behind on a weekly time frame. I can't imagine that we're going to leave all these gaps behind that we have to the upside. But just because I can't imagine it doesn't mean it can't happen. I wouldn't have imagined yesterday that we would start building bearish momentum as soon as we flipped green. This should have brought us higher. The fact that it didn't is a little bit discouraging at the very least, right? Looking at the 4-hour time frame here, we're just hoping on a bounce. That's really all we got. There's no signs of readiness. All the signs that we had that we were going to turn around, they're gone now. So we're just waiting on that, right? Daily time frame here, again, double bottom here, relatively speaking, maybe a triple bottom if we include this, right? 1, 2, 3, however you want to look at it. The MACD here does have some bullish divergence, to be fair. The stochastics are at areas that we bounced from before, and the RSI is at the exact same level that we bounced from before when we found our low. But again, down here, whoops, when we found our low, look at the reaction we had, right? We had a very positive reaction that persisted afterwards, right? So we need some kind of, it wasn't like crazy, it wasn't 100% move, but from a low to a high, that day you did pump 24%, right? That day. And then over the coming days, you persisted higher. You didn't return back to prices that were below these levels here, right? You were at 12%, 15% above this low, whatever. You didn't return back to these prices or lower levels than that, right? You only upheld these levels and continued to build. We need immediate growth, and we need consistency in the structure that is positive for OnyxCoin if we are to provide that this is the low, okay? With that all being said, looking at this for what it is, lower highs here, lower lows here, lower lows here, something like that maybe. Oh, let's get it. Come on now, hold on. I'm just going to draw it all the way out here. The magnet gets in the way, but I don't want to take the magnet off. We still could drop lower, right? We're still in this kind of range, and maybe I don't have it drawn the best. We still could drop lower. We absolutely could drop down to about 0.006 or something around there. If we're going back in time, there are areas of support right here at 0.0688, 0.005 itself, and that is right above our prior areas of resistance. So if we do move lower, these are areas to look forward to as support. If we take this low here to this high here and we put on our fibs, The 1272 at 0053 looks to be a good area to find support. Comes in line directly with this area. This area of resistance back here. Of course, we could persist lower, but right now I'm not really thinking that we go down this area. But it is important to mention, because we are below this high or below this low. It is important to consider these targets at least, right? Any of which would be prime opportunities to buy. But I do think that we're at a point to reverse here. I do expect that this is going to be a fake out, and what we're looking for again is just some kind of reversal to validate that, right? We need a little bit more than what we're getting on this 1 hour. We need this look on the daily time frame. We need that look on the weekly time frame, right? We need a sign of reversal here. Otherwise, we're in trouble. We're definitely in trouble. So hopefully here we hold our ground. Hopefully here we do move up higher. And also, sadly, unfortunately, hopefully here there are some people capitulating, because capitulation, weak hands shaking out and selling, typically does allow the price to move up higher. But we'll see. Anyways, I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Onyx is still building. OnyxCoin is still building. They're still developing and making new things all the time. Have some faith. Again, here, fundamentally speaking, it's only a better project than it was down here. Okay, so this will provide some upside at some point. Just got to be patient, okay? Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. I haven't sold any of my OnyxCoin. It's still my biggest bag. Bye-bye.